to the Bradley Center for tonight's nationally televised Arena Football League game between the Cleveland Thunderbolts and your Milwaukee Mustangs. Here are tonight's starting lineups. First, for the Deuce, at play-by-play from West Virginia, please welcome John Walls. Tonight's analyst, with 14 years in the NFL, from Oregon, he is all world. Please welcome Russ Francis.
Welcome to the beautiful Bradley Center in Sun City, USA, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where tonight the Milwaukee Mustangs are taking on the Cleveland Thunderbolts. Their record is 1-8. Albany right now leading the American Conference. You look at the bottom of the pack. Now Cleveland and Milwaukee, they're fighting to see who's going to take over that last spot. Milwaukee hoping to get off the schneid there and get the first win of the franchise history tonight. Could very well be their night. Hi, everyone. I'm John Walls, along with all-world Russ Francis. Russ, I thought I heard a smattering of boos as we came out there.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but these are wrestling fans too, John, just not football fans, so they're used to booing anybody that's not on their team.
All right. You talk about a guy who might hear a few boos here tonight as far as Earl Bruce is concerned, the head coach of the Cleveland Thunderbolts. He has had a rough year, no question about that. An outstanding collegiate record. You see that, 150 wins, 7 bowl victories, but this year at Cleveland, it has not been much fun.
Well, if anybody has got a problem with the game tonight, it's Earl Bruce from the standpoint of the pressure that's being put on him. I mean, his players feel it, his coaches feel it, but nobody feels it any more than Earl Bruce.
I'll tell you what, Russ, once you slide over and get one of the main attractions of tonight's ball game, we'll check in with Russ in just a second. As far as the other side is concerned now, the Milwaukee Mustangs, their head coach was Lou Saban, a living legend of football. But back on June 13th, Lou was fired, and in his place, Art Hagee replaced him. The defensive coordinator now takes over his first professional coaching job in this country. I'll explain that a little bit later on the program. One of their acquisitions, it has been a big one for them. John Forcade, the one-time New Orleans Saints quarterback, he is now on this football team. He threw 4 touchdown passes last week in his first game in a Milwaukee uniform, and he is very important to the rest of their season. He's now standing by with Russ.
John, you've got a lot of years in this game. You're coming to a team that's winless. What's your attitude towards this game tonight, the attitude of the team?
Well, we just want to come out and play good and just give it all we got. You know, we're 0-9, but these guys don't play like 0-9 ball. I said, look, go out and have fun. You can't determine what happens, and hopefully I can change what happens.
Well, you're one of more of the experienced guys. Art Hagee's got a good attitude. You going to win tonight?
We're going to win tonight.
Good luck. All right, John, we're out of here. See you in a minute.
We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a moment. Milwaukee and Cleveland when we get it going here on the Deuce. Indoor war covers 50 yards, and we'll get it going in just a moment. Welcome back to Milwaukee. John Walls here with Russ Francis as Cleveland and Milwaukee are set to get it going here. Both teams, as we talked about in the open of the program, have been off to a rocky start and really never got going here. Cleveland with a victory, though, to their credit. That was over Las Vegas about 4 weeks ago. Milwaukee has come oh so close. Out of their 9 defeats, 4 of them have been by 8 points or less. So they've been in the neighborhood, and they're knocking on the door. It's just who's going to open the door for them. And that's what they're thinking John Forcade is going to be able to do for them. They signed Forcade last week. Here's a look at Art Hagee, the head coach. What an interesting character he is. He took over for the fired Lou Saban, came in as the defensive coordinator, has been a coach in various realms of football and all kinds of levels for the past 30-some years. His one professional job before this was with the Heathrow Jets, a team over in England. Earl Bruce coaching in professional football for his first time. Longtime coach, of course, at Ohio State, where he won more than 80 games and was in 8 straight bowl games with the Buckeyes and did a super job there, moved on to Colorado State, took them to the Freedom Bowl back in 1990. Before that, he was with the University of Tampa and Iowa State. But Earl's had some adjustments to make, and that has been one of his most, I guess, difficult aspects of this position, is finding a place and a fit for his style of football. You know, he's an old-fashioned guy. He likes to run that football, but in arena football, you got to keep it up in the air. You got to get it going up top, and he's trying to make the move in that direction. It has been awfully hard to get going, though. Cleveland won the toss, and so the Thunderbolts getting the first decision here. They're going to get the football to start it off. Both teams have played well in the first half of their respective games this season. Their problem has been in the third and fourth quarters. There's a look at the Palazzos. Andrew there, his son Chris. Chris, the general manager of the team. Andrew's the owner of the franchise. And what they have going here in Milwaukee. And remember now, this is an 0-9 team. They are 4th in the league in attendance right now. And tonight they're anticipating around 13 to 14,000. And so while the losses have mounted here for Milwaukee, certainly the enthusiasm has not gone off proportionally. They are really fired up about arena football. As we are set to kick off, Kenny Stucker with the duties there for Milwaukee. Ernest Priester, the deep man for Cleveland. And Priester is drilled at the 7-yard line. And that is where John Kaleo and company will take over. John Kaleo getting his first start of the year as a Cleveland Thunderbolt quarterback. His number 67 and 132 attempts. He's thrown for 700 yards, 8 touchdowns. Came in last week in replace of Tony Lowry. John out of the University of Maryland. The disappointing factor of last week's game, 4 interceptions, but yet Kaleo gets the start tonight. Priester with the carry to the near side of the field. He is the team's leading rusher and pass catcher as well. So this is a young man you'll see a lot of tonight. Cleveland starting lineup. Remember, 6 players go both ways. Newman, Wells, and Garber up front. Tony Wells, Tracy Shumo, and Bellinger. There are the skill positions. Priester also an offensive specialist. Kaleo is a quarterback, and defensively Jerry Pitts and Zach Dumas will come on to replace them. 2nd down and a long one. Kaleo to Shumo, and that one was almost picked off. Adrian Lunsford coming up strong from his defensive back position there to break up the pass, and it'll be 3rd and a long one. The Mustangs defensively, they've got Arnold Campbell, Dante Campbell, Franklin Harris, Ashley, Josh Scott, and Ed Wabarosha in their lineup. Adrian Lunsford, Michael James, the defensive specialist, and Wayne Hawkins, an outstanding wide receiver, and John Forcade will come on when they get their hands on the ball. 3rd and 1 from the 17. And that's Richard Bellinger, and he's got the first down. So right off the bat, Russ, Cleveland, out of 3 plays, runs the ball twice. What would you expect from Earl Bruce, huh?
You know, one thing when we talked to them yesterday, you may have already said this, I was working my way back up to the field, John.
That's a good hike, too, isn't it?
It is a damn good hike. But Earl was bragging about the fact that his team was leading the league in rushing. I mean, you can tell that that's where his heart still remains.
1st and 10 from the 21. Kaleo looking deep. Oh, he had his man wide open. Tony Wells got behind the defense, but Kaleo overthrew him.
And I guess now is as good a time as any, John, to mention that just like baseball, you can catch the ball over the wall as long as 1 foot is inside that boundary. The ball can actually even be played off that wall.
Side barrier then, in essence, is inbounds, as are the nets at the end of the field. You can catch a pass thrown off of that. Obviously, the kicks, as you saw in the kickoff, they're live, too. Kaleo to Priester. Pickup of about 7. Up defensively for Milwaukee was Alvin Ashley on the stop.
That guy Priester, number 31, he's going to be seeing the ball a lot tonight. Kaleo's going to have to count on his ability to read those zone defenses, which is exactly what the Mustangs are playing at this present time.
They're down in 4 now. As Cleveland moves across the midfield stripe, they're down to the Milwaukee 23-yard line. Leo to Priester. And Priester gets racked into the sideboard, but picks up big yardage on 3rd down. It's 1st and goal for Cleveland.
Cleveland doing a good job of sending the other 2 receivers downfield, leaving room for Priester here to work in the zone. See, he has the option here, John, to either go deep, but if the safety plays him off as he did, hook up short, he's a tough guy to bring down once he has the ball. Look at that wall. Wouldn't that be fun? You got to worry about the guys hitting you plus the wall.
Priester's week against the Albany Firebirds, not bad. 9 catches, 86 yards, 1 touchdown. He leads this team with 33 receptions. And Tony Wells takes a blast from Michael James. That's a way to get together and become reacquainted.
That's what's so nice about this game.
Michael James out of Arkansas has 1 interception this year and had his sights set on a kill that time. 2nd down and goal now from just inside the 8. This is Priester. And Priester bullies his way down to close to the 1-yard line. So Priester on that end around play there on the pitchback rush, that was the first play of the game. You see Priester being helped up. It was the first play from scrimmage. He picked up about 8. He gets pretty good yardage here in the part of the field that it's tough to run the football.
Cleveland doing a good job because they have that experience running the ball to get a guy like Ernest Priester here. You know, he's 5'9". He looks bigger than 190 pounds, John, when you see him run with the football. Early on, the coach wants to find out who's got it in him, who's up for this game. Ernest Priester seems to be filling that bill.
It's 3rd and goal now from just inside the 2. Bellinger flies into the end zone there. You saw him just bullying his way in. Makes the slam, but there is a penalty flag down.
You know, you saw Bellinger right there headbutt his teammate. Congratulations on the touchdown. He almost did that to me. Just coming up here from the field, he's so intense and excited. He almost hit me in the head with his helmet. I had to flinch.
I thought you were ready to play again.
Touchdown.
So the penalty on the defense is refused, and Bellinger's touchdown will hold up, his 4th touchdown of the year. And on now to kick is Brian Mitchell, a drop kicker.
This guy is tough. I mean, he just puts his head down. Look at those legs. Just try, pump. Keep on going. Drive, drive, drive. You see his lineman. He gets in because his linemen keep on pushing through. It wasn't just all Bellinger.
This will be worth 2 points if it goes through, but he beats it off the upright. So Brian Mitchell, his attempt a little wide to the left, but that's all right. That would be worth 2, and it'll be worth another try when Cleveland puts the ball back in the end zone. When we come back, Milwaukee gets their hands on the ball for the first time, and Cleveland marches down and scores on their opening drive. So the Cleveland Thunderbolts bolt their way down on their opening drive and score. Milwaukee getting the ball for the first time.
Hey, man,
Kicking off will be Brian, so he doesn't have to drop kick this one. He can put it deep back there, and he will. Alvin Ashley will return the kick for Milwaukee. Ashley off the net. He swarmed, and flags fall. Brought down by a host of Cleveland Thunderbolts. The penalty, an illegal block against Milwaukee, and so they'll step off half a distance to the goal here. The Mustangs already backed up. Will start a little bit closer to their own end zone.
Waist, number 32 on the return, Milwaukee. First down.
Well, once again, we say it again, football's a game of repetition, and we repeatedly say that you can't make those kinds of mistakes on special teams, especially coming out of your own end zone.
John Forcade, the starting quarterback for the Milwaukee Mustangs last week. 4 touchdown passes. There's a look at that Cajun boy. I mean, you can tell that little accent of his, huh? He threw it out at you in the open. There was movement there by Kent Wells. Forcade might have a free one here. And Ashley gets decked over the side barrier. Zach Dumas on the defensive stick, and that's a way to get yourself in the seats in a hurry. Well, that's the thing about players. You don't have to buy a ticket. You could stay here. You get paid to play this game.
Well, number 6, Alvin Ashley, really gets crunched over the top. Ooh, man, that hurts. You don't have to worry about any other sport but arena football. Art Hagee, the head coach for the Mustangs, said this guy is kind of a little on the cocky side. He'll come back at you. That's not going to slow him down one bit.
There was no flag, although it looked as though Wells had jumped off sides in the middle, so it's 2nd and 10 from the 5. the backfield. Wabarosha, Big Ed Wabarosha from Eastern Michigan. That was only his 5th catch of the year. 4K though, using his man in motion out of the backfield, picks up about 6. It'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 11.
You know, number 73, Kent Wells for Cleveland, 6'3", 290 pounds. He just crunched 4K on that last play. When you said it looked like he got off early before, sometimes when the guy on the line gets off right when the ball is snapped and everybody else doesn't, looks like he's offside, but he's really reading that ball well.
3rd down and 4 for Milwaukee. And Cleveland comes up with the big defensive stop, so it will now be up to Milwaukee to come on with their Kenny Stucker, their field goal kicker, and try a very, very long kick. That was Jerry Pitts wearing number 7 tonight.
And that's what you look for, too, in your defense. Your 3rd down, they're going for a 1st down. Someone's got to step up, make the big play. Pitts did.
Again, this ball will be live off the net if it gets that far. Instead, it falls short. That will be a touchback, and the ball is brought out to the 5-yard line. So the Thunderbolts hold on their first attempt on defense. They get their hands back on the ball, and they've got a 6-0 lead.
Huddle's kind of quiet, isn't it? Who's going to speak up here and take charge?
Well, waiting for John Kaleo to call a signal or 2 here for us.
Let's go. Rick resume. 60. All quick.
So
ready?
Kaleo and the Thunderbolts backed out in their own end zone there to huddle up. Ball on the 5-yard line. 6-0 Cleveland on top of Milwaukee. In and out of the hands of Tracy Yandel, and a flag goes into that area where, Rush, usually those offensive linemen are guilty of grabbing hold of somebody's shirt.
And it appears that our man with the red hat, the guy that brings all the bad news to one team or another, is asking the purple guys from...
Holding, number 62, Cleveland, decline, 2nd down.
From Milwaukee, what they want to do with the penalty, because it's against Cleveland. Those big guys can't help themselves. They grab a hold of each other and throw each other to the ground, kick each other. It's just in their genes.
Fly zoom.
I think it is. It's genetics.
Absolutely.
So environment has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. Maybe it's a combination.
2nd down and 10 now for Cleveland from the 5. Kaleo looking for Priester. Just overthrows him. Adrian Lunsford on the coverage, but Priester had a step on him.
Now, if Ernie could run a 4-3 instead of a 4-4, he'd have had that. All you need is speed, just a little bit more speed, and every receiver says if I could have just gotten off the ball a little bit quicker, if I could just accelerated when the ball was in the air. You look at Kaleo's numbers here, 213 yards for the season, 3 TDs, but 4 interceptions. That's what hurt him 2 last week.
Kaleo getting his first start, as I said, replaces Tony Lowry, who may see action here tonight. Lowry was 5 of 7 last week for 2 touchdowns, but Earl Bruce just wanted to change up and came with it and used Kaleo to bring it.
Oh, don't do it. Don't be the guy. Don't be that guy.
Now Randy Hart jumping on the right side, but let's see if he wasn't drawn off sides. Here's John Garber, the offensive lineman, who indeed pulled Hart, and so back a little bit closer to their own end zone.
Half the distance to the goal.
The Cleveland Thunderbolt are penalized.
Yeah, Garber just jumping a little bit anxious, and that's normal down here by the goal line. Things get kind of antsy. You see him on the right side of the screen just sort of pop up and jump. The defense can move now. It's free ball. Anybody can move. Once that offensive line comes up, that's it's open season for the D-line.
So it's now 3rd down and about 13. Kaleo to Priester, and Lunsford had him again. And so Cleveland's going to have to kick the ball deeply out of their own end zone. Brian Mitchell will come on, and Milwaukee will have an opportunity for a big return.
Yeah, I mentioned last couple plays that Priester would like to be a little bit faster. He'd like to have longer fingers here. Watch this, right off the tips. Right off the tips. Maybe one hand is longer than the other. Maybe he needs to have an adjustment done by a good chiropractor.
He needed to run 4.35 that time instead of 4.4.
I got this down. You're making fun of me. But I got this down. I got 3.28. He's excited. He says, now it's my turn to shine. I'm going to bring this back for a TD as Mitchell gets ready to line up and kick.
Terry Beckham, who's back deep, and he's going to have a lot of room to run with this one. And Beckham gets the ball out across the 15-yard line up to the 18, and that's where Milwaukee will take over.
And when you see more purple jerseys away from you and the other team coming at you, Beckham didn't have anywhere to go. He had nobody to block for him. Smart move, just take it right up the middle of the field, get as many yards as you can.
Alvin Ashley is a guy that Forcade would love to have as a main target if he could find him. 5'9". Alvin's just a little guy out there, but he can't get open. And the idea here for Art Hagee's team is to use his height as an advantage, actually. Forcade to Terran Adams.
Now that is a great example of both men, the receiver, Terran Adams, and John Forcade reading each other. The play was broken. Forcade flushed out of the pocket. Adams taking a hook step and then reading that the quarterback's in trouble. You see him just sort of hesitate. Now he comes back up. Great read by Adams. Now watch this. He covers up the ball to protect it. Smart move. Everybody's going to come and try and strip you. Adams doing a great job of hanging onto the ball.
So it's first down at the 14 for Milwaukee. Forcade, touchdown Mustangs. Terry Beckham ties it up.
Now this must be a new maneuver, not this one here that we're watching, but Forcade drops back, then takes a couple little 2 or 3 steps as we watch our man Beckham here, just reading the defender. See, he's waiting for the defender to commit. He runs the post, but Forcade, just a little double step, finding the receiver. Gives himself some extra room to find the guy.
Kenny Stucker unsticks this game. The point after is through and true, and Milwaukee has taken the lead. So the Mustangs come marching right back. John Forcade to Terry Beckham, and it's 7-6 Mustangs.
The sharp-tailed grouse is known particularly for its elaborate victory dance. Jumping up and down while his wings gyrate in opposite directions, the distinct plumage and intricate dance moves are clearly visible to all. The precise purpose of this ritual is unknown, but is believed to be a form of mockery.
The Canadian Football League on ESPN2. It's wild.
So Kenny Stucker's got it teed up and ready to kick it off. Back deep, Ernest Priester for Cleveland, who finds themselves down 7-6. And Earl Bruce yesterday, Russell, when we talked with him, said it's drives like those when we give up a big play, you can just see the head start to hang automatically. This is the team that is a little down on itself right now.
Absolutely, and that's going to show early, John.
Priester, that's a live ball. But see, Priester could be tackled if he did not get out of the end zone for a safety. Well, they say he did get out. I was going to say he was tackled because he didn't get out. It would have been a touchback, but a referee is saying that a foot did indeed get across the line. As long as you make an effort to get out of your own end zone, you can't be tackled in the end zone and not yield any points. But it was the referee's decision that he just barely came out.
Safety, ball carrier came out of the end zone and went back in. I have personal foul, number 2, Cleveland.
Zach Dumas called for the personal foul, and let's keep an eye on Ernest Priester's feet and see if he indeed came out of the end zone.
Well, you got to make a decision one way or the other. He stops right here. His foot is over the line. You've got to drive forward, Ernest. This is not the place to go. Purple is not your color. It doesn't look good on you. You got to get the heck out of town.
So that is a safety. Priester's, actually both of his feet got out over there. He just kind of danced around with it. That's 2 points on the board for Milwaukee. And now Cleveland's got to turn it around and kick off to the Mustangs.
That's when the brain is screaming like 3 or 4 messages at one time, John. I mean, one is saying, get the heck out of here. The other one's saying, stay. The other one, the third voice is saying, I don't know what you mean. What do you want me to do? So the feet and the mind are not working together there.
It's kind of like seeing double. You know you're in trouble. I'll tell you what, anybody playing the Braves this year, and they've been in trouble, and the Cardinals and Greg Jeffries are going to get a taste of Atlanta and the crime dog, Fred McGriff. That's Sunday Night Baseball. Joe Morgan, John Miller, 8 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN. It's 5 o'clock out on the coast, the Braves and the Redbirds.
They're tough. They're playing tough.
After that great start the Braves got off to, they kind of cooled down a little bit and backed up for the rest of the pack to get back in it. So we'll have a pennant race for as long as we have baseball. That is a touchback. The ball will come out to the 5-yard line.
You know, somebody was saying yesterday, too, we're talking to all the different people here with the league, the Arena Football League, that some of the kickers are trying purposely to hit the bottom of that net, the metal part of the frame, so that the ball will be punched back onto the playing field, give the covering team a chance to recover that ball down close to goal. I see that if the ball comes down, if it just misses the net and hits that metal bar, there's a good chance it's going to bounce back out of the playing field so that the cover team has a chance at it to cover it for possession or a score.
But now the penalty actually will be stepped off, the personal foul penalty that you heard called a moment ago on Zach Dumas. It was not put into effect on the kick. It instead comes onto the first play after the kick. And so the ball is brought out on the 8-yard penalty to the 13-yard line. Are you confused? Well, Milwaukee may be as well, because they want to call a timeout. And John Forcade will talk it over with Art Hagee there on the sideline. You saw the American Conference standings at the opening of the program. In the National Conference, how about those Orlando Predators and Ben Bennett? They're 8-0 and on a roll down there, and Tampa Bay trying to close in at 5-3. We saw Miami last week with a big victory for them over Arizona. They're 4-4 right now. They have Jim Jensen back in control. Fort Worth, the Cavalry, they're off, but we'll see them next week. And the Charlotte Rage still playing for a playoff spot. They're at 3-6.
Protection. Go to shotgun. You okay? I'm going to go to shotgun. I left. Yo-yo. 7 route. 4 route. 3 route. 500 on 1.
Okay, John, that's a mouthful. It's going to be a shotgun. Quarterback steps back, center snaps to him. That way, that gives the quarterback a chance to see the defense from the time the ball is snapped.
Forcade steps up and has his man. That's Beckham. And he's all the way down to the 9-yard line where he stepped out of bounds.
Now, once again, this appears to be a design. Forcade is dropping back in the pocket. His offensive linemen are taking their guys upfield. Forcade steps back, up forward, away from his linemen. That gives the receivers, in this case Beckham, a chance to get just a couple more steps on their defender.
First and goal now inside the 9 for Milwaukee. The big man, Andy Chilcote, takes it inside the 5. It'll be 2nd and goal from the 1.
Yeah, Gilcote, he's one of those guys at 250 pounds and probably more, weighs a lot more with all that equipment on. You can't give him a running start like that. If you're going to stop him, you better stop him at the line. Because when he gets up ahead of steam, he's going to run over people, drag you to the end zone. Look at that. 6'1", 250. Only 23 years old, still time to grow.
Picked up 6 yards. That was his longest run of the season. Before that, 4 yards was his high water mark. Forcade on the option. And the ball rolls out of bounds. So a little wishbone here for Milwaukee. And unfortunately, they don't get their wish. Instead, the ball bounces back to the 10.
Yeah, this is kind of unusual from a standpoint. See how long this pitch is? That's a long way to make a pitch. You want the quarterback closer to the pitch man because these types of things happen. The ball just dropped, headed right down towards the turf. I think Forcade expected the guy to be just a little bit closer to the lineman, got to drive off, keep the guys away from the quarterback, give him a chance to get down the line of scrimmage to make that pitch.
It's now 3rd and goal. The ball just outside the 10. Forcade buys some time. Throwing, and it's picked off and dropped by Jerry Pitts. Terry Beckham with the defensive break up there. We'll give him credit for offense turning defense there. Jerry Pitts almost had his hands on the ball. Instead, Stucker will come on and try a field goal.
Now watch how long this play takes. Forcade sees a guy here. Now he had 2 guys underneath here. He had Beckham right underneath on a hook. Decided not to do it. You see Adams coming across the middle underneath. You see Adams deep in the end zone and breaking it off going to the end zone. You got to find a guy sooner than that.
The clock winding down. And Stucker's kick, yeah, he said 8-ball corner pocket. The combination works out well. He goes off the upright and through the uprights into the net. That one will count for 3 just as the first quarter comes to a close. And so Milwaukee gets off to the rolling start, looking for that first ever win in franchise history, and this could be their night. And you know what, Mom? Tomorrow I'm going back for the rest of the haircut.
Hey, I think that's cool, man. That's cool. We'll see, the other guy did. He went back the first day, got it all done in one job, you know, for half the cost.
Maybe he had to get here to the game tonight. Said, I'll just be back tomorrow. 12-6. Priester takes the ball off the net as we start the second quarter. And Priester wraps up the football as Milwaukee does the same to him. He gets it across the 10-yard line out to the 22.
He's getting banged around a little bit early. You see, he's getting up slow each time. He's just conserving his energy.
Come on, hey. All right, let's go. This is for you. Let's go. Rio, trips, rocket, 55 ISO on quick. Ready?
It's a 5-step drop with a rocket, whoever that is. Somebody's going to be going deep.
They give the ball to Tracy Shumo, and he rockets his way up close to the midfield stripe. Shumo, a pickup of close to 12, and that's a first down.
Well, he got me on that. I thought it was a 5. When he said 55, I thought it was a 5-step drop. It was a 5-step drop. All right, took 5 steps, handed it off to Shumo. Right up the middle, sort of a draw type thing. Shumo goes in motion. You see, instead of coming back to line of scrimmage, he goes right up the middle of the field. Good blocking, taking those guys out. The linemen just have to spread that line for just a second, allowing Shumo to get hit like this, which I'm sure Shumo appreciates.
Well, this time in the air to Shumo, who can't hang on.
Only so many times you can go to a poor guy like that. He's winded, he's tired, and concentration. He should have had that ball, though. That's one of those deals that hits you right in the hand. You see Earl Bruce giving Kaleo another call. Earl's fired up. He knows he's got to win this game. I see Earl Bruce over here just kicking the turf, yelling at his receiver, saying, hit you in the damn hands, catch the ball.
Go.
Second down and 10 now from the 24. So Bellinger, again, busting his way. He is a big man, 6'2", 255 pounds out of Cal State Sacramento. And that's the kind of bulldozing that Earl Bruce became famous for at Ohio State. He's explaining that right now to John Kaleo.
This is how he did it at State, son. Run the football.
Now, that was the 4th rush of this game.
Quick, ready? Yeah.
Well, you can't blame him. Your receivers dropped the ball like that. You got to go with something that's going to work, and his run has been effective.
Kaleo quickly to Tony Wells, who picked up the first down. Michael James was up to stop it, as was Josh Scott. But again, a first down for Cleveland.
Now there's a guy, number 4, Tony Wells, 6'2", 193, that I think that Cleveland's going to have to get the ball to. The guy can run well with the football. He's got good size. Give him a chance, give him the ball, let him run.
There's a look at Tony Wells, wide receiver, defensive back out of Kent State. Tony with his 6th catch of this season. They go again on the ground, and Bellinger from Kaleo, pick up of close to 4 yards. He's down to the 10.
Now, what does that guy remind you of, John, when he's ran the ball, Bellinger, number 44?
Oh, I'd say a little Larry Zonka.
Yeah, sort of like Richard the Bull Bellinger. I mean, he's not going to take no for an answer. He's running right over his guard and tackles back. Richard is. He holds the Cal State, as you see, record for most tackles in the game, 16. He can also run the ball.
On quick, ready?
Sounds like he's going to get the ball again.
Bellinger out of the backfield, couldn't hang on. Josh Scott and Bellinger get tangled up, and that's one that Josh ought to be careful of. He weighs 190 pounds, Bellinger 255. They don't do weight classes in football, of course, but hey, that's the cruiserweight and the heavyweight there.
Well, Bellinger, too, you know, he dropped that ball. That very well could have been intentional on his part. If you're coming out of the backfield, you're not sure if you made the line of scrimmage or not. There's a defender right there. You can feel him. You know he's there, and he's starting to strip the arm, so you let him knock the ball down. Just don't let him intercept it because you're looking at a loss.
That brings up 3rd down and 6 now from just outside the 10. Kaleo quickly outside. You saw the drop. Tracy Shumo couldn't hang on, and it is drop passes that has been a real thorn in the side of Earl Bruce and this Cleveland team. We saw them 2 weeks ago against Charlotte, Russ. A lot of drop balls, and this is more the same.
Well, we saw Shumo shaking his head saying, I didn't hear. Well, you don't have to hear anything. All you got to do is watch the football. After this play, he was tapping his head, shaking his head like I didn't hear the count. First of all, you're out that wide in a noisy stadium. You got to watch the ball anyway. When the ball's in the air, you got to concentrate. But that ball came with heat.
This is a 4-point field goal try. Mitchell puts it through. So for only the 2nd time in Arena Football League history, a drop kick has been made for 4 points.
Really? I'll be doggone.
Brian Mitchell was the first to do it earlier this season. He becomes the 2nd dude as well. That young man putting his name in the record books. Put 4 on the board. It's 12-8. Mustangs. Well, welcome back to the Bradley Center. And that score is right, folks. I'll tell you what, Russ. My 4th grade math teacher would be really upset with me.
Well, you know, you were right.
I used to see that 4-point stuff.
Well, you were right, too, about the fact that that was the 2nd time he'd kicked it from past the 15, 3rd time total for 4 points. Look at this. He got some height on that ball.
So Mitchell now will kick off the tee, and back deep is Ashley. Alvin Ashley with the football. And he's brought down at about the 8-yard line. Richard Bellinger on the stop there for the Cleveland Thunderbolts. So Milwaukee will take over. John Fourcade putting 12 points on the board, all 12 coming in the 1st quarter. This is the first time they've had their hands on the ball here in the 2nd quarter. Ashley, a 2-time Division I All-American, first-teamer, 59 career touchdowns.
Son, you better get your head up. You know, you want to make everybody wants to make a big play on that return, and certainly the guy with the ball, Ashley. But that play is over with, man. You got to forget that. Get your head back up. Worry about the next play.
Fourcade looking for Ashley. He's got him. And Zach Dumas brings down Alvin Ashley, but not before he gets down to the 17-yard line.
Well, evidently Ashley had that on the mind. Okay, that play is over with. Now watch Fourcade get kind of squeezed and push here. He's stepping up in the pocket, letting his line work for him. He's getting kind of crunched here. Ashley, one thing you got to do here, get the ball upfield. Too much juking. You know, guys are coming from behind. You're going to strip that ball, but a good job of hanging on.
Fourcade got a chance to run, and he's tripped up at the 6. So John Fourcade, who ran for a touchdown last week, picks up a 1st down for Milwaukee.
It's not something you want to see a lot of. That is your quarterback running, but he has no choice here. He steps back up. See how well he steps up in the pocket. He's got to run. His receivers are downfield covered. Good idea. Dive for the turf. There were a couple other times, John, closer down by the goal line that I thought he might run with it, but he put that nice touch up and caught Ashley one time and got Beckham on the 2nd.
The draw is stuffed. Andy Chilcote barely got back to the line of scrimmage and might have moved the chain a foot or 2. Bellinger again on the stop.
That's what your linebackers have got to do. As soon as that ball, the offensive on the offensive side of the football, touches into the running back's hands, that's a great key read by Bellinger. Just fill that hole. You got to fill that hole. He did it perfectly. Nice and low. Good form.
2nd and goal from the 5 for Milwaukee. Forcade on the bootleg, and the ball is knocked right back in his face. You saw Tracy Schumo coming up there from his defensive back spot. Make the big stop. Kent Wells, the Nebraska product, applying some pressure as well.
Now, I'm not sure this is all design type of thing. You watch Forcade, he's going to his right, then he goes to his left. Most coaches, that drive them nuts, changing hands like that because there's a better chance of the ball slipping loose. Terry Schumo doing what he's been doing all day long, knocking the ball down. That's not very nice to say. He's a receiver, too.
1-1.
Forcade on the line. Touchdown, Milwaukee. Wayne Hawkins. A 5-yard score, and Milwaukee's up by 8.
Forcade doing a good job. His line, you see the pass, make that the run fake there, giving the line a little bit more time to protect. Hawkins getting inside the end zone. Hawkins is also a pretty darn good deep threat. We'll see him moving the ball downfield as the game goes on.
Kenny Stucker puts it through, and Milwaukee continues to roll right along. The Mustangs have saddled up 19 points on the board. They lead 19-10, 6:46 to go in the half. The Watooms Warriors out in full force tonight. That's the personal cheering section for Milwaukee's own Dave Watoom, lineman who started the season actually with Cleveland, so he's just flip-flopping uniforms tonight. Priester, oh, and as he gets stuck. Kelly Barrett on the stop, and Ernest Priester not finding much running room at all. Canadian football coming up on the Deuce, Toronto and Saskatchewan. The Rough Riders and the Argonauts Saturday night. Well, 4 o'clock Eastern time on the Deuce. That's 1 o'clock out where you live, way out there on that other coast.
Ah, yes.
CFL football coming up on the Deuce. A scoring drive, 5 plays, 43 yards. It took a little more than 2 off the clock, and Hawkins put it in the end zone. Kaleo to Tracy Yandel. Michael James brings him down, but the completion up close to the first down marker.
Nice catch. Let's go. Fly zoom. Right trips. 1 on 2. Ready? Fly zoom. Right trips. 1 on 2. Coming tight.
The give out of the backfield to Jeff Ellis. A flag is down at the line of scrimmage. Marcus Goodwin also in the game offensively. He was the man in motion. Let's see what the penalty was.
He's calling offsides against Milwaukee. And one thing Milwaukee's doing, we're going to listen to the call here in just a second, but Milwaukee's playing that backup, Adrian Lunsford, up on the line of scrimmage to try and prevent against the run, bump him on the pass.
Encroachment on the second neutral zone, number 58, Milwaukee. 3 yards, replay, first down.
Yeah, number 2, Adrian Lunsford's coming up on the line of scrimmage to give an extra guy on the line against the run, also bumping number 6 for Cleveland, Tracy Schumo, on the pass, trying to slow him down before he gets downfield. Therefore, Milwaukee then going into the zone. You see Frank Jr., Frank Hagee, Art's son there, helping with the offensive line.
This is Marcus Goodwin. I just told you about him, and now he's telling Milwaukee I'm in the football game. Goodwin picking up 17 yards, and that's another first down for Cleveland. You saw the Hagees over there. Interesting story that Art was telling us about his son Frank and the problems he's been having. As we'll see Goodwin here. He's been coaching junior college football the past 2 years. They won 1 game 1 year, did not win another game the other. Now he's coaching in Milwaukee. They haven't won yet. So in the last 3 years, his son has been a part of 1 victory. He says, Dad, we got to get out of it. We got to get going here. Jeff Ellis nowhere to go. Andy Chilco bringing him down. There's Frank Hagee, the young man we were talking about, 25 years old, an outstanding small college player. Not that he's a small guy, but he played at a small college.
But he knew a position. He was a tight end when he was playing football. So he had something going for the fact that he's got good, good decision making. Which position you want to play on the team? So
Wore number 81 in honor of my partner. You see the flags down there. What was that you were saying about tight ends? No,
well, good decision.
He wore number 181 in honor of Russ Francis.
Okay, I wasn't
Russ,
gonna
his
get to
favorite
that.
player of all time, and so he wore number 81. And you told me that
Illegal snap, number 99, Cleveland. 3 yards. Replay, second down.
you had another number 81 that you honored by wearing that.
That's right,
particular
Jackie
jersey.
Smith, one of the best to ever play the game, and I was honored that Frank took the number 81. We're just passing it. That's what you do. You just hand it down to the next guy and say good luck, especially going across the middle. It's a lot of fun. I'm sure Frank had fun too. I know Jackie did. I watched him run over a lot of people.
Kaleo down the middle had Randall Olds all by himself, the big lineman who was the eligible tight end on that play. Got his way down the middle of the field, and Randall was open. Instead, he went out to the sideline, Kaleo did, to Jeff Ellis. Either way, it's an incomplete pass, and it brings up third down.
Yeah, those guys along the sidelines, they're happy because when the ball goes out of the field in arena football, you get to keep it. It's yours. I got one a couple weeks ago.
Now, the little difference, though, you didn't catch yours, though.
Well,
you went down. I saw you.
Well,
okay.
Yeah, before the game, I grabbed one. All right.
Thank you.
I'll give it back.
Shumo on third down. Bashes his way down close to the first down marker. He stepped out of bounds at the 10. And so it's an interesting decision now facing Cleveland. They have fourth down. Remember, they have that drop kicker in Brian Mitchell, who's already put one through from.
You know, that play just demonstrates in Tracy Shumo, a guy number 6 who is fighting and scratching, clawing for every yard he can get. You know, neither one of these teams has a very good record. Some people are calling this the battle of the basement, but you see the pride in a guy like Tracy Shumo. You've got to be moved by that. He's going to give it 1,000% every second of the game. Here they go for fourth down.
4th and 5 from the 10 for Cleveland. To Wells, first down, Thunderbolt. Or Ellis, rather, excuse me. Jeff Ellis on the catch.
He's a big guy, too. You give him the ball, he's happy. Look at his face. He's smiling. He comes here, just does a little hook right along the sideline. You see Kaleo's flushed out of the pocket to his right, and Ellis doing a good job. Now, just get your shoulder down. Here they come. All right, come on. Take me on. You know, I'm 88. I'm supposed to be a receiver. Takes out the official. He's 6'4", 290 pounds. Would you want to tackle him?
He was a big Buckeye for Earl Bruce. Played with Earl back in 1987. Now they've hooked up professionally. So it's first and goal from just outside the 3. Kaleo, the old stiff arm, didn't work. Milwaukee was there to turn him back. You saw John's knee drop down at about the 3.
Yeah, they wanted everybody to think that Ellis, number 88, was going to get. They faked it to him, but I don't think they gave the fake good enough, because look at everybody coming out here. Everybody and his brother. Richard Bellinger make that Andy choke out. We're going to take a quick break. John?
Milwaukee and Cleveland hooked up here in 1910. The Thunderbolt on the move.
Four-man beach volleyball, served up Tuesday night at 8 on ESPN2. Eat sand.
Well, you'd never know that man was 1-8, huh? Is that the picture of contentment right now? He's just happy to be here.
I think he's worried. His team's right down the goal line. There's not much room to work with. He wants to see what's going to happen next. He's seen it all.
Second and goal. Marcus Goodwin gets hit in the backfield by Michael James, and after that, Deep Purple comes on to lay it on him. Adams in on that second charge. Adrian Lunsford was there as well, and that gets this Mustang crowd up and rolling.
You've heard of Purple Haze. This is Purple Days. This is a maze of purple. Michael James, number 17, doing a good job of just stopping him, slowing him down while Taron Adams comes in to finish him off. And when you're running the ball like that, get down on the ground because there's more help coming.
So it's now 3rd and goal from the 4-yard line.
Number 58, you see, is his 3rd and goal right now. 58 standing there. He put the finishing touches on our friend, and he's going to split out wide. He's going to bring the ball my way. Come on, I'm ready.
That's big Steve Houghton from Paw Paw High School. Kaleo on the middle screen, and Ballinger stopped. Karen Adams says, how do you like that? 4th and goal. And there's a timeout on the field. Let's see what the officials want to do. Well, they say we'll step aside and let Earl Bruce and his Cleveland club talk about this, because this is a big play for them. When we come back, 4th and goal, less than a minute to go here in the half. We're back in the Bradley Center here in Milwaukee. John Walls with Russ Francis. And Russ, that's a huge goal line stand for the Milwaukee Mustangs.
Boy, they are emotional. They are fired up, and they have the advantage of the home crowd, and it's paying off for them here.
Fourcade out of his own end zone to Barocha, and the big man, Big Ed, with his 5th catch of the year. Whoa. The ball way out of a hole up close to the 20-yard line.
These are the plays. Nobody touches Richard Ballinger, number 44. You see Wabarosa just turn around one-handed. Tuck that ball away now. Come on, we're up against the wall. Oh, I love it. Don't you love that?
Oh,
that looks familiar.
Well, that's how you used to do it, isn't it?
Something like that. They used to yell at you when you caught it with one hand like that. I always thought if it was a catch, it was a catch.
Fourcade to Hawkins. Zach Dumas is there to get a piece of Wayne to bring him down, not before he picked up a couple of yards. Clock continues to roll inside of 30 seconds to play in the half. The clock does stop in the last minute of the half for a ball that goes out of bounds or an incomplete pass or anything along those lines. So there's conventional timing in the last minute. Fourcade wide open in the middle of the field. And still going. Alvin Ashley. First down and a timeout for Milwaukee.
You know, I was a little surprised there, John. Fourcade looking over the middle for Hawkins. But you've got Terran Adams on the left side, all by himself by the sideline. You want to stop the clock here. Fourcade, I was a little surprised he chose the middle of the field. You can see that you got Wayne Hawkins wide open, but also was Terran Adams on the sideline. Now they have to use their timeout. Up at the top of the screen, you can see where there's just a hook. You can see Adams just sort of waiting there, holding up along the side of the field. Is that Adams? It's kind of out of focus. See him? He's all by himself there. The next defender's 7-10 yards away from him. You want to throw to the sideline, and here's a choice here. Alvin Ashley could have went to the sidelines, and it was Hawkins that was upfield on the other side. But you got to stop that clock. You got to give yourself more than 7.5 seconds to move the ball there. They're still on the 13-yard line.
And Milwaukee does have one timeout left. 1st and 10 from the 13. 7.5 seconds to go in the half. Fourcade has the ball knocked away by Kent Wells. The ball is still loose on the turf. That's Tracy Shumo as the clock expires. Shumo out of bounds, and whoa, is there a collision in midfield?
The ball's still going. The ball's still going. Jerry Pitts picked it up, number 7. About 4 guys had possession of that ball. Fourcade first, then Wells, then Shumo, then Pitts. Everybody had a shot. Look at the emotion in this play. Everybody wants to make something happen. Fourcade gets the ball stripped out by Wells right here. Wells tries to jump on it. He knocks it back. It's kicked out. This is like rugby. See, the ball's getting kind of knocked around here. You see Shumo, he grabs it. He gets it stripped here finally. Gets knocked out. He's trying for extra yards. He thinks he's still in.
But watch the hit he takes at the end of this play.
Pitts grabs it again.
Whoa.
The emotion. I love it. I can feel it.
Well, no bones broken, but we're at the break now. 19-10. Milwaukee on top of Cleveland. We're ready to get the second half going here. Milwaukee on top by 9 over Cleveland, 19-10. Looking at the first half numbers here, Russ. Well, Earl's happy. Rushing yards 36, passing yards 66, but right now total yardage, Milwaukee with the edge. And how deceiving is that bottom statistic there? Time of possession 19 to almost 11, but yet Milwaukee with that 9-point lead.
All season long, Cleveland's been doing the same thing, John. They've been having the ball, possess the ball more than most of their teams in the first half, then they lose track of it in the second half. That's a product of the fact they run the ball so much. The clock does not stop when the ball's run out of bounds, so those running plays take up a lot more time than the passing plays. The other teams have been seeming to catch them possession-wise. In the second half, there's a little bit of a letdown, so we'll see if Cleveland suffers from that or they pick it up. There's a lot of emotion in this game today, John, tonight. Both teams having to win, so you know, that could carry them all the way through the fourth quarter.
Well, when we get going here, there's a bit of a delay. The net to the far side of the field's tangled up. Earl Bruce and his Cleveland Thunderbolts will kick off the ball. Brian Mitchell teeing it up. You see what happened there. They had a ball stuck in the mesh there during the halftime.
You have to get Michael Jordan.
But now, yeah, I got to get somebody. Alvin Ashley, well, he's throwing strikes. You got to give him credit for that. He's just got to put one over the hump here and get that thing out of here.
Michael Jordan could get that with no problem. Just soar up there, grab it, knock it loose, or maybe Shaquille.
Now, Ashley says, you know, enough's enough. Let's just get it on here. You know, Ashley, interesting story about him. He went to Southwest State of Minnesota, not only an outstanding football player, but he is still the school's all-time leading scorer in basketball. So quite an athlete he was in college, and he's thrown a couple of really good shots at that thing, but it just doesn't want to come out.
Well, he had to concentrate on the game in hand and forget about that thing. Right now, he's going to have a bunch of guys, 8 guys coming down the field at him, take his helmet off and his head off. I stopped playing games with the ball in the net and worrying about running the ball back.
We've got a good one tomorrow night on ESPN. Arena football, the 50-yard indoor war coming your way at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Orlando undefeated against the Miami Hooters. They're rolling. They have Jim Jensen back. Orlando and Miami, 8 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN. Ashley out of his own end zone. And he never went down. He rode the wave of John Garber, who was trying to make the stop. That knee never touched down, and so Ashley very smartly kept going to pick up about 5 more yards.
Well, you see him start to follow the block to the left and decides the middle is the place that he ought to go. Bob Cox, the guy that's trying to give him that big block. Ashley trying to get just a couple more yards.
So Milwaukee will take over 1st and 10 from their own 20-yard line. Forte to Ashley, who drops the ball and takes a shot from Zach Dumas. Milwaukee's done a good job for the most part of protecting their quarterback. They have given up, coming into this game, Russ, 26 sacks. So far tonight, Forte has been pressured at times, but he's yet to be brought down.
Well, you see Dumas coming up to serve. Notice that, Ashley, we're going to tag you every chance you get. Dumas coming around to your screen. Wham, that's after the ball. Looks like it might be just a little bit late. No flag thrown.
They come right back to Ashley, who once again meets up with Dumas. Tracy Schumo also went on the stop with a pickup of 8 yards. Ashley, this team's leading receiver. He catches a pass and gets about an average of 12 yards off of it. Also the leading receiver as far as touchdowns are concerned. He has 9 touchdowns to his credit, but they've kept him out of the end zone so far tonight. This one in and out of the hands of Josh Scott. It'll bring up 4th down and about 2. Kenny Stucker coming off the bench, and he'll try a long field goal attempt.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a little conversation in the huddle about the fact that Ashley was wide open over the middle.
This will be from 37 yards out for Stucker. He hasn't made one from that distance all year until tonight. So Stucker is through. He puts it through again. And Milwaukee leads 22-10. So Milwaukee takes its first possession, puts 3 points on the board thanks to Kenny Stucker. Stucker, the second leading scorer via the kick in this league. Very reliable young man, and he puts this one high off the net. And Dumas will just fall on the ball. That's a touchback. It's brought out to the 5-yard line. That's where John Caleo and his troops will take over to start the second half.
Well, you notice that's what the coaches want, that ball kicked up high like that. You saw how much time it eats up. There wasn't any time once Dumas got the ball loose from Priester. There wasn't any time to run with it because the guys in purple were down there. Nice high kick. When it hits that net, that takes some extra time, and it kicks the ball back towards you, gives the recovering, make that the cover team a chance to jump on the football.
Caleo to Shumo. Shumo breaks a tackle and is brought down at the 16. He actually stepped out of bounds at the 21-yard line. Josh Scott came on to make the stop, but a big pickup for Cleveland.
You're going to watch Shutt, who comes up from behind, do a great job of going to strip the ball. See him? He'll swing his right hand right over the right shoulder of Shumo here, trying to knock that ball loose, which he does. If they'd been out in the open field, that would have been a fumble, possibly recovered by Milwaukee. Great job, but Shumo was lucky. The sideline was there to help out.
Well, Scott was a quarterback in college, was changed to a defensive back, and you saw he learned nicely the lessons. This is Priester. He's got room to go, and Priester stepped out of bounds. Priester's run will be brought back to the 8-yard line, but Ernest Priester moves the chains again for Cleveland.
You get a make that a running back to cut back against the grain. Priester just using the sideline here. Watch him turn back inside. Nice move. This is letting all the momentum of the guys covering you, coming after you, work for you, but his foot just crossing the line.
The lone setback is Jeff Ellis. Shumo in motion with the ball, and Tracy Shumo takes it down close to the 2.
You know, we have a tendency to talk about these guys, these skill guys, as they call them. Number 6, Tracy Shumo, Adams from Milwaukee, and all those guys, Marcus Goodwin. But number 73, the center for the Cleveland Thunderbolts, Kent Wells, 6'3", 290. He has been doing, you see he's kind of hunched over there in the middle, just standing up there. He's been doing a fine job on offense and defense. These running plays are working because he's taking his guy off the ball, along with number 98, Mr. Ricky Newman.
It's 2nd and goal from the 3. Ellis again, flagged down on the far side of the field. Ellis down to the 1, but again, there is a penalty.
And I'm going to keep saying it because they keep doing this guy here, number 73, Kent Wells. He took his guy on that last play, just drove him flat on his back. I mean, you don't want to be in front of him. He's just going to pick up. You watch him start to drive against number 55, Dave Witham, who's 6'3", 295. He's not a light guy either. Kent just taking him right on his back. That's what you want from your offensive line.
Big bad Kent Wells, as you said, out of Nebraska, one of old Dr. Tom Osborne's boys playing the indoor war here. And that's kind of fitting, a Nebraska guy playing an Ironman game. It just sounds right, doesn't it?
That's right. Can't play outside because of the locusts.
It's 2nd and goal, and there might have been movement. I think maybe Mr. Nebraska there perhaps tilted the football. You think maybe Garber's guilty of the flag
Somebody
instead?
else.
Okay, well, we'll give it to Kent. There's look at John Garber, 6'3", 290 out of Western Washington.
See, it wasn't my guy.
Yeah, Garber flinched. He moved.
No, it was Garber. It wasn't. You're talking about the guy from Nebraska. I'm talking about Kent Wells, our center.
I know. He's your guy.
Well, he's doing a great job so far. He's my guy as long as he keeps doing a good job. He's from Nebraska. The other guy is from Western Washington. Garber is.
So a 3-yard penalty puts the ball back close to the 4-yard line. 2nd and goal from there. To Priester. Touchdown, Cleveland. John Caleo to Ernest Priester. Priester gets on the board, his 2nd touchdown of the game, or actually his 1st. And it's 22-16.
You know, when you talk about a quarterback's quick release, you watch Caleo's arm whip through there. He knows he has to get the ball to Priester now. He's running out of room. Good, nice, quick, smooth release by Caleo.
Mitchell again on to add the 2-point try here on the drop kick. And that one was right down the middle. So that's a 2-point try. 22-18. Little Brian Mitchell coming up big on those 2-point tries here on the Deuce. It's a 4-point game. So Mustang mania sweeping across Milwaukee. The Stangs getting a field goal on their first possession, but Cleveland comes right back. Brian Mitchell tacked on a 2-point try after the touchdown. 22-18. Ashley off the screen. Cleveland again taking the ball down on their opening drive here of the second half. They took 3.5 off the clock. And Priester had the honors, a 4-yard catch from John Kaleo. I said Priester's second score of the game. It actually was. His first one was a safety against this team.
Right.
So I kind of misread my own sheet here.
Well, you know, that scoring drive, that takes a lot out of those guys. Kent Wells, John Garber, Ricky Newman up front there, because they're running the ball so much. That asks so much more of your linemen. We'll see if that tires them out in the fourth quarter.
Again, in Ironman football, you can only make a limited number of substitutions per quarter. Hawkins sees the ball go in and out of his hands. Jerry Pitts up to make the defensive stop there. Pitts out of Glenville State College in West Virginia.
You know, I'm a little surprised too. Hawkins, number 5 for Milwaukee. He's been throwing a couple of short balls by Forcade. He's a guy who's kind of deep. You see Forcade's numbers here: 139 yards, 2 TDs so far. I expect him to get the ball more downfield to Wayne Hawkins. He's a good deep threat for Milwaukee Mustangs.
Hawkins with 35 catches on the year. Another flag down, and here's Hawkins. He's surrounded by white shirts and is brought down at the 23, but again, a flag could bring this one back. And it will. That'll be a 3-yard penalty against Milwaukee, so instead of third and very, very short.
Tight end did not declare 3 yards, replay second down.
And by that, every time you break the huddle as the offensive team, whoever is your tight end must raise his hand and tell the defense and the official that he is the tight end. He is an eligible receiver, and it was somebody's responsibility, and nobody did it.
I saw the guy raise his hand. I saw him. See, now he's raising both hands.
Randy Hart saying, hey, I'm right here.
1-3.
Yeah. They're always picking on the tight ends.
Movement on the interior June 13th, but they've had some close calls. Last week, taking Massachusetts down to the wire, losing 58-51 to them. Had an opportunity to win the game, actually, but Terry Beckham fumbled with the ball late as he was going in for what may have been the winning touchdown. Forcade has him wide open. Wayne Hawkins was behind Jerry Pitts, but the pass falls incomplete.
Okay, we'll get back to talking about Coach Hagee in a second, but I mentioned about Wayne Hawkins being a deep threat. Now I'm going to chew him apart. See how he staggers here and slows down? You got to keep running. Let the quarterback lead you. You cannot stop your run until the ball is thrown in the air. Forcade did a good job of leading him there, but Hawkins just slowed down and went right through his hands.
This is Stucker, and that was good.
Woo!
A 53-yard field goal by Kenny Stucker. It's only worth 3, but my gosh, it was from so far out, you got to give them 5. They do on the sideline. They're happy about that. Cleveland down by 7. Welcome back in the Bradley Center, and they're still messing with that football. Huh? They're not going to give it up. Milwaukee getting 3 off the foot of Kenny Stucker, but talk about some guys whose feet are on the move. How about the cyclists in the Tour de France? Stage 19, you can see it on ESPN tomorrow at 1 o'clock in the morning. Check that one out. 10 o'clock Pacific time, the 19th stage of the Tour de France, as Miguel Indurain is pedaling his way to his 4th Tour de France championship.
Leading by 7 minutes, no less.
This again, Kenny Stucker, the ball put down just across the 5. Let's give him 53 yards on this one, though.
Beautiful. Richard Bellinger almost getting in there for Cleveland to block it, but Milwaukee getting a guy up there with his hand on Bellinger just to push him out of the way, just to make sure, because those long kicks have to be kicked low to get that velocity into it to make that distance. Wonderful kick.
That was Stucker's second good field goal attempt from beyond 45 yards for this year. The second one he's made from beyond that distance. This is Priester. And Ernest Priester's got some room. Priester in for the score.
Well, you can just tell when a guy is not going to be denied. Priester came out of that end zone. You saw him times before. Look at these guys celebrating. I love to watch that. Times before, he was kind of hesitant coming out of the end zone. This time, Priester blasts out. He gets some great blocking up front, right at the middle. He'll cut back to his right to take advantage of that blocking. Right here, nobody. One more break to his left. He goes right by the kicker, Stucker, who has no chance of getting it. He's not going to be denied. I want 6. He gets it.
Well, coaches tell you in this league, if you don't hit your kickoff off the net, it gives that returning team more than enough time to set up their return. You see the ball come short, not off the net. He doesn't have to play the carom. Instead, he can turn up field, and for the 3rd time this year, Ernest Priester has taken a kick back for a score.
Well, you know, Ken Stucker's got a good leg, and he knocked that long field goal. He just didn't get much of that ball. He didn't get into that ball when he kicked it off. As you said, giving Priester much more time to read his blockers than he should have had.
And again, Mitchell on to try the drop kick. He has only had 1 placement for an extra point on one occasion this year. This is for 2 points. And Mitchell puts it through.
You know, John, I'm a little surprised that this drop kick takes longer than most kicks, than your regular extra point. You would think that Milwaukee would be putting more of a pressure. Nobody really is trying to push up through the line to break through and block that. I would think when it takes more time for a drop kick, they'd come after him.
Well, Cleveland had the lead at the outset of this game, and they were up 6-0 at 1 point. Well, this is their 2nd lead of the game. They have come back to retake the margin of 1, 26-25. I'd like to remind you folks about tomorrow night. Coming up down in Miami in the arena there, the Hooters and Jim Jensen taking on Ben Bennett and the Orlando Predators. Orlando undefeated. Miami 4-4. Boy, did they miss Crash Jensen. They were 2-0 until he went down. Now they won last week with him back in the saddle, and so Miami still in the hunt for a home playoff game. They'll take on Orlando next week on the Deuce. Russ and I will be down in Texas in Fort Worth to see the Cavalry and the Las Vegas Sting. Both of those teams are in the playoff chase as well next Friday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time on the Deuce.
Giddy up, giddy up. I'll bring my Stetson.
Bring your boots, buddy.
Absolutely.
Terry Beckham off the net. And this coverage very different than what we just saw. Beckham just barely got it out across the 5.
Well, Brian Mitchell doing what you've got to do here when you kick it. Get that ball up high in the net. Doesn't give Beckham a chance. And also, you know, those guys aren't real sure where they're going to go with it.
All right, yo-yo. Running 3. All right, yo-yo 500. On 1, on 1. Shotgun, Dante. Don't kill me, on 1.
Don't kill me.
Shotgun, on 1.
No, it's not a real shotgun, John. It's just a kind of figurative speech.
Forcade, and the pass broken up by Dumas. He was looking for Terry Beckham, but Dumas up strong to make the defensive stop there. Hey, Zach Dumas, the defensive specialist on this team. This guy's been around, played his college ball for Earl Bruce at Ohio State.
Now see the receiver drifting there. You cannot do that. That's looking for trouble. That's an inexperienced receiver. John Forcade, too, should lead him towards the sideline. He was in front of Dumas, Beckham was. You've got to rely on the fact that you can use that sideline because Zach Dumas is going to come up, take that ball away for a touchdown. He's 6'1", 210, big guy.
Forcade gets rid of it before he gets blasted. Wayne Hawkins was on the receiving end.
Ooh, he took a hit on that one.
10. All right. 10 dive on 1. Get the first down.
Well, you not only need a flak jacket in this league, you need some kind of protective shield around you. This is a rough sport. Another huge collision, but Andy Chilcote just powers away, and he picks up the first down. And Milwaukee keeps the drive alive. Inside of 4 minutes to play, Cleveland leads by 1.
They heard Forcade in the huddle saying, let's get the first down. This team listened, got it. Chilcote just driving, putting his head down, getting that extra yardage.
Center Dante Campbell was shaken up. He's going to stay in the game, but the big guy took a licking on that last play. Forcade again to Hawkins, who almost broke loose. Tony Wells came up to make the stop. Fred Guions was there as well, but the chains move again.
Ooh, so close, yet so far. John Forcade doing a good job of picking up his second receiver, Hawkins, taking a shot here. Presence of mind, stay on the feet, going for that extra yardage. Guion there waiting, though, to knock that ball loose if he'd gone inside. He has been close on a couple of occasions. He's getting help and pressure from the other side, Tony Catchings, which is what you want to do, because now the offensive line for Milwaukee, they've got to worry about more than just Olds. Catchings coming in, putting a lot of heat on the quarterback.
There's Olds again. And Forcade on the deflection completes the pass to Kelly Barrett. But there is a flag down back at the 23-yard line. Randy Hart giving him a piece of his mind off the sideline. Forcade wants to know, what is the call here?
You like to see those big guys, Kelly Barrett, you like to see those big guys get the ball.
Now you saw offsides against the defense, but a personal foul against the offense.
I don't think the personal foul had anything to do with any of the Milwaukee guys on the field. I think it came from the bench.
Well, you saw Randy Hart over there, number 98, who was incensed and how emotional he was, and now the crowd's starting to pick up a little bit as well. We'll try to sort this all out for you.
We have encroachment on the defense. We have a personal foul, number 9, Milwaukee. 8 yards over the 3 yards will penalize Milwaukee 8 yards.
So Frank Harris gets the call, and Frank not even in the game. He's over there as well, number 9, as you heard on the sideline.
Well, as we said, it's an emotional game. You'll see Cleveland jump off sides. Olds just about getting a hold of Forcade again here because he was early, coming across the line early. John Forcade doing a good job waiting till the last second. You see the ball bounce up. It looked like number 98 getting the penalty, not number 9. That's what happens when everybody's so close to the line. Well, there's number 9. All right.
He's trying to, he wants to tell the coach that wasn't me.
Yeah. He's getting blamed for it, and everybody's calling him on it. I don't know if it wasn't 98 because it looked like our man Frank Harris was behind the coach.
Well, now the ball is being spotted down to the 5. What's going on here?
On the defense, we got a personal foul, number 9, Milwaukee. After the play, we'll penalize the 8 yards over the 3 from the end of the run, and it'll be a 1st and 10.
Get out your computers.
All right, so it was a dead ball penalty is what it amounts to. Again, it happened after the deflection, after Barrett had taken the ball down to the 5. So they'll spot the ball at the 5 and then move it back to the 14-yard line, and that's what they're explaining right now on the bench. And Art Hagee saying, guys, just shut up next time.
Well, he's working that gum, isn't he? He's getting a workout tonight. Burning calories.
Now he's explaining to Arnold Campbell. He said, Arnold, would you please get those guys behind you to be quiet? They're not going to hurt us here.
Well, you know, Frank took the heat for that. I mean, he didn't deserve it.
And Forcade had nowhere to throw the ball, and Randall Olds was over there once again.
My scramble, come to me. Hello. Can you run a 4 route?
You know, the guy, Fred Guions, number 22, did a great job of holding Hawkins up. They wanted to do a hook and a go. But Guions stopped Hawkins right on the sideline. Forcade had no place to throw.
Forcade to Beckham. That's the pattern he wanted. You heard him. Hey, can you run a corner here? Can you get out? And Beckham said, yeah, I can do that. Forcade does a lot of that with this offense, Russ. They saw it a lot last week as the third quarter winds down. He does a lot of improv out there. Hey, can you run this? Can you run that? Go do it, man.
And one thing that Beckham did there and Forcade asked him to do was flatten that pattern out. Don't drift like you did last time downfield. Give me a target towards the sideline. I'll lead you and get the ball to you. That gives the defender less of an angle to come in for the interception.
The Mustangs once again on the move. They're going to change sides of the field, though. The fourth quarter coming up, and Cleveland hanging on by a thread. They're up 26-25. Welcome back. We have a lovely game going on tonight. Milwaukee and Cleveland. 26-25, and fans from all over the area. I can tell you the Clements family from Chicago on hand here tonight. Doug Clements taking it in. Ken Clements, the outstanding front office jacket of all trades, I guess we could say.
Absolutely.
Does she do it all for this league, or does she do it all?
She's going to run this
league?
pass pattern. It's 3rd and 5. She's going to get the ball.
Offsides, I think, is going to be the call here, and that's a live ball off the net. Kim, a director of marketing with the Arena Football League, and helping out with all the game operation here for us. Had a mom and dad, husband coming over for the game.
Encroachment, number 32, Milwaukee, on the second neutral zone. 3 yards, replay 3rd down.
So the call goes against the defense.
Well, they said against Milwaukee. I'm not sure he was pointing towards Cleveland. Now, anybody want to tell me?
I'm not even going to touch it. I'm just going to leave it alone.
Well, it's closer to the goal line than it was.
Yes, it. And it's still 3rd down. Weber-Osha fumbling the football. Out of bounds it goes, and it's now 4th down. They lose about 3.
John Garber doing a great job of getting his hand up and knocking that ball loose. Here for Cade saying, we had a touchdown, got to hang on to it.
Where you at now?
Kenny Stucker on to add the field goal try here. He is, that has 3 already this evening. Make it 4. Stucker puts it through, and Milwaukee goes back on top, 28-26. Kenny Stucker's right leg working overtime tonight as Milwaukee continues their drive for the first win of their history. Kenny Stucker has given the Mustangs of Milwaukee a 2-point lead over Cleveland, 28-26. The 4th quarter just underway. Sunday Night Baseball coming up on ESPN. Joe Morgan and John Miller calling the action from St. Louis. The Braves and Fred McGriff taking on the St. Louis Cardinals. And Greg Jeffries, that's 8 o'clock Eastern time, 5 o'clock Pacific time. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Kenny Stucker now kicking off back deep. Ernest Priester, who has been caught in his own end zone for a safety on a kick already this evening. Zach Dumas tries to run it out. He's in trouble as well and is brought down at the 1. Weber-Osha in on that stop, making up for the fumble perhaps on their last offensive possession. Priester and Dumas having trouble off that net, Russ.
Priester ran one back for a touchdown not long ago. Couldn't decide where to grab the ball. Dumas, you got to get the heck out of there. It's as if he can't make a decision, and then our man number 9, Franklin Harris, we didn't get a chance to see it. He was leaping, ended up into the crowd. I think he found a good-looking girl there he wanted to go say hi to, ended up right in the crowd, went over the wall.
John Paleo has gone the whole way tonight for Cleveland at quarterback. Wants Priester and has him. And Priester's brought down at the 15-yard line. But they get themselves out of a jam in a hurry. Alvin Ashley was beaten by Priester, and the ball's down to the 15.
Now, you don't see this very often. John Kaleo, or Cleveland, I should say, going deep. Priester, though, has got the ability to get down and deep. He went past number 6, Alvin Ashley, who is really an offensive specialist. Doesn't have a lot of time as a cover guy showing there. Priester just ran a post right by him. Ashley didn't even take a look at it until it was too late.
Kaleo to Jeff Ellis, who rambles for 3. To give you an idea about the time of possession, we saw that at the half. Cleveland was down by about 9 minutes in that statistic, or rather, they were up by about 9 minutes rather. To turn it around in the 3rd quarter, Cleveland had the ball about 4.5 minutes. Milwaukee had the ball about 10.5 minutes, but Cleveland outscored them 16-6. So it just doesn't matter, does it?
No, it's turnovers and opportunities. Those big plays like that, you get a guy who's 6'4", 290, Jeff Ellis running with the ball. Something's going to happen.
Priester on the screen. He's got room. And Priester's in for the touchdown. touchdowns here in the second half, and Cleveland is back on top.
Now this is a sneaky play. This is a beautiful play. All the other receivers lining up, sort of blocking out the defenders. Kaleo just waits until Priester comes underneath. See all these guys being scraped off underneath? They've got an automatic blocking wall. Priester going in for the touchdown, doing a great job of tiptoeing into the end zone. One more drop kick. You got to say that Cleveland, they want this bad enough to give Mitchell a chance to drop kick for extra points every time they score.
Well, he already has a 4-point field goal try to his credit tonight that was successful, and here he goes again on another 2-point extra point attempt.
He's on.
Don't you love it, huh?
Again, I'm going to say why they don't push harder. It takes longer to kick that drop kick.
Ryan Mitchell gets the deuce after the 6, and the lead is 6 for Cleveland. Scotty Mitchell, or rather Brian Mitchell, will kick off for Cleveland. 34-28. He is now 3 out of 4 tonight, Russ, in those 2-point extra point tries. Back deep, Alvin Ashley for Milwaukee. Ashley with some room and a few blocks. Ball's loose. But Adrian Lunsford was there to fall on it. And Milwaukee hangs on. Little trivia for you here. When was the last time a drop kick was attempted and made in the NFL?
Well, I'd have to say back in the 40s, we see the ball loose, one of many that we've seen tonight. Thank goodness for Milwaukee that Adrian Lunsford drops on it. In the 50s?
Well, I have to admit, I wouldn't have known this had I not read the little pregame notes. 1941, Scooter McLean in an NFL championship game put one through for the Bears. They were beating the Giants, and you were around for that one, weren't you?
Yeah, in a previous lifetime.
I thought you were.
That last play, you see all those guys scrambling. We're looking at the scoring drive. Again, 2 minutes and 41 seconds. Ernest Priester on that score, but a lot of emotion here. Neither team giving up.
Forcade on the deflection. And Wayne Hawkins says, thank you very much, Tony Wells.
Tony's saying got his hands on his hip. Forcade is counting his blessings. Tony Wells got one hand on it, almost stopped it for an interception. Wayne Hawkins has got to be very happy that he was at the right place at the right time, keeping the drive alive. Forcade is getting tremendous pressure up the middle. He is not getting the type of time that he had in the first quarter. Although he's taking a lot of extra time. You hear him get punched in the chest here, punched in the throat. That's football. That's the way it is.
Just to let the quarterback know you're around. First down. Mustangs at the 18. Forcade under heat again. And the ball goes through the hands of Alvin Ashley. Forcade is a cool customer back there, though. There's no doubt about that. He has played in the CFL, the NFL, the USFL, and the Arena Football League as well. Played with Miami last year. In fact, he owns a Hooters restaurant down in Louisiana and a golf course. Well, that's my life right there.
Yeah, okay. Well, go down and join him. But the guys right now that are wishing he'd get rid of the ball a little bit sooner, number 77, Arnold Campbell, 55, Dave Witham, and number 9, Franklin Harris, would wish that he'd get rid of that ball just a little bit sooner.
Wabarosha on the draw, and the man's got some room to go. Touchdown, Wabarosha. The longest run of the year for Big Bad Ed, and the ball game's tied.
Well, 6'3", 245, a tackle like that around the knees and ankles is not going to work against Wabarosha. He slams the ball from his backside. You can see he's 23 years old, 6'3", 245. A lot of power in them there legs. Kick is good.
Kenny Stucker puts it through. And you can tell things are getting a little hot between these two teams as we come down the home stretch. We have ourselves a horse race, folks. 35, the Mustangs. What would you expect, huh? 34, Cleveland. We have had 4 lead changes in the second half. Right now, it's advantage Milwaukee, 35-34, the Mustangs, with just under 9 minutes to play. Coming up on the Deuce, Monday night, 7 o'clock, roller hockey. You like speed, I know you do, Russell.
I like rollerblading.
This is for you. This is your team, too, I think. The Edmonton Sled Dogs.
No, I like the Barracudas, man.
Ah, no, you're a sled dog. The San Diego Barracudas, Monday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. 4 o'clock out on the West Coast. That's on ESPN2, the Deuce. Got a little roller hockey for you. The Sled Dogs and the Barracudas.
Get it on.
Kenny Stucker this time. Blast one high off the net to Priester. And Priester's brought down by Steve Houghton.
That's what Milwaukee's looking for. Look at the crowds on their feet. A lot of them on their feet. Is a good defensive play like that by Steve Houghton. Coming on down. He's got a free shot at Priester. Priester doing a real good job of hanging on this ball, but look at this. Contact. That's what this game is all about.
Played his college ball at Ferris State in Michigan, and a graduate of Paw Paw High School in that state as well. I like that name, Paw Paw.
Yeah, where'd you go to school?
Paw Paw.
A lot of grit there.
There's the 10 from the 9 for Cleveland. And Shumo has nowhere to go.
Okay. I'm sure one or two of our viewers are asking the question. You got a talented guy like Shumo. Cleveland's been doing well throwing the ball. What are they doing running the ball on the first play right up in the middle where everybody's at?
All right, and so your answer would be?
Get the ball downfield. I mean, I'm sorry, but I mean,
absolutely.
That breaks up the momentum. It takes away the confidence of the offense. They got to get the ball downfield. They've been doing a good job of that all game long.
And now it sets up 2nd and long. And it's intercepted by Terran Adams. The pass deflected at the line of scrimmage. Adams with his first interception of the year, and Milwaukee's got the ball right back.
I'm not absolutely positively sure about this, but I think our guy number 58, Steve Houghton, may have got his mitt up on that ball. Kaleo wanting to throw, and I said, come on, go ahead and throw the ball. Just when they do, Terran Adams. Ball's just tipped, just up. All right. Number 44. Andy Chilcote getting up off the ball. Great vertical leap. They measured for those things. Obviously, Andy, number 44, doing a great job of doing that. 58, Steve Houghton giving the signal that the ball was not. Hey, I asked for a pass.
It's the old only 3 things can happen, you know, and 2 of them aren't good. The ball squirted out on the sidearm offering, but it is a completed pass to Terry Beckham. Forcade throws one around the rush instead of over it.
That's kind of like one of those sidearm passes by or pitches by a baseball player. See, he's sort of stepping down there. He knows he's got to get it low. There's defenders all over the place. Dumas coming in. If that ball had been any bit higher, Dumas would have knocked it loose. Beckham doing a great job coming back for the ball, getting possession, get down quick. And he was down the field before that ball was knocked loose.
2nd down and long 4. Incomplete. Terran Adams again circling in the back of the end zone. Thought he'd found a hole back there, as Beckham had earlier tonight, but he couldn't hang on.
That's one of those throw them away. I mean, not throw them away, but throw them down low a little bit. Forcade coming back limping. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects his drop.
Forcade, 16 of 29, 2 touchdown passes. What he'd love to have number 3 here.
Calling 500 protection. I think that's max protection, keeping his fullback in for protection. See him come in there, pick up the rush.
And Forcade is dropped. Pat Danko on the sack for the Thunderbolts. And Kenny Stucker will now have to come on and attempt a field goal.
Well, Pat Danko outweighing Dave Witham, who was on the block there by about 10 pounds. Witham 6'3", 295. Pat Danko 6'3", 305.
Kenny Stucker now with a 26-yard field goal attempt. And it's good. So the Mustangs take that turnover and turn it into 3 points. They build on their lead, 38-34, with 6 minutes or so of football still to go. So Milwaukee tacks 3 more points on to their lead. They're on top 38-34 here over the Cleveland Thunderbolts. Coming up tomorrow night on ESPN, Battle of the Sunshine State. The Miami Hooters and quarterback Jim Jensen at home against the Orlando Predators. Orlando, the only undefeated team right now in the Arena Football League. They're 8-0. They have a high-powered attack. Barry Wagner and company down there. Their quarterback, Ben Bennett, he's been around the block a time or two. That's 8 o'clock tomorrow night on ESPN.
General manager for the Miami Hooters, Bob Huco, saying they're looking forward to playing the Predators. They think we can beat them.
This is Priester again, and there's another flag down. And Priester goes down as well. Kelly Barrett in on that stop. Terran Adams was jumping in the pile as well. Holding against Cleveland. So instead of starting the ball just across their 10-yard line, they're going to back up a bit.
Holding, number 73, Cleveland, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Milwaukee capitalizing on the turnover. The interception, the first of the night, by the way, that Kaleo was thrown after throwing 4 last week. Kenny Stucker's 26-yard field goal attempt gave them a 4-point lead, 38-34, 5.5 minutes to go.
Ready?
That's not Kaleo's fault, though. That ball got knocked up in the air by Andy Chilcote. Otherwise, that would have been a completion.
Kaleo down deep to Yandel, and this one's picked off. Michael Adams with the interception, and Michael James rather, and the big-time strut, his second interception. Earl talking with Tony Lowry, who has been the starter for much of this season at quarterback.
Yeah, they may never throw another pass, John. Earl Bruce, you know, it doesn't like to pass that much anyway, although arena football dictates it, demands it. It may not happen soon.
Personal foul, number 58, at the end of the run, 8 yards, the first down.
Oh, Steve Houghton, Victor there. He is the culprit. Michael James coming over, the one-time quarterback in high school, playing defensive back in Arkansas, now doing the job in the secondary for Milwaukee, his second interception of the year. Houghton with the penalty. That will knock 8 yards off of where the ball would have been, but still, Forcade and company have the ball and a 4-point lead.
Somebody! Come on!
4-5 for the Mustangs.
Oh, stay in! What?
I can't do it. August 12th.
I left Yo-Yo. I left Yo-Yo 300 on one. Ready?
Well, Josh Scott checked into the game. You heard him telling Forcade, I can't do it. It might be because he's actually been out of the game once already. If that's the case, you can't come back in. So Beckham from Forcade, pickup of about 5. Scott's still looking at the sideline. He's saying, hey, I don't think I'm supposed to be in here. I don't think I can be in here right now. And they do automatically substitute here and get Scott out of the game. But the deal is, once you've been on the bench at the start of the quarter, you can't go back and then come back in the game.
Well, the officials evidently didn't see it or didn't care to see it or whatever the case may be, but Alvin Ashley was waiting on the sideline, and that's what Forcade was screaming about. He's screaming for Ashley to come in there. Shut doing the only thing that a heads-up player would do. There's one man short on the field. Hey, I'll come in and play.
Play clock ticking down to 0. That would be a delay of game penalty against Milwaukee, so they'll go back 3 yards.
A little Cajun emotion showing here. Low Cajun.
Delay of game, number 11, Milwaukee, 3 yards. Replay, second down.
Especially when they call your number out and blame it on you, John Forcade.
The attendance number tonight, how about this one? 15,169. 15,169. That is the second largest attendance in Milwaukee's season. Forcade has to scramble. Takes a shot. You see some of the activity going on down below there. One of the fans delivering a little forearm shiver. He's getting into it. He's dangerous territory over there.
He's right next to the Cleveland bench, and the guys on Cleveland bench are looking out over at him right now. You see the fan get up there and just sort of Get off of my quarterback. Watch this. Get out of here. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're pretty brave. You know that you got security guys all around you.
And that barrier between you. And now he is being ejected. So the security folks will see the bottom of the screen and saying, hey, guy, you're out of here. 4K. Hey, nice catch on the sideline there. They're waving incomplete, but I'll give the redhead some credit. There goes our Mr. Contact there.
Well, he's an official guy. He's got a staff sticker on. I don't know what he's doing. Maybe overhearing the plays and signaling him across the field. But he's got one of those staff stickers that they gave us at the beginning of the game. So he's not just a regular spectator. He might have been a spy. Maybe we got the first spy in arena football history. I see. Ricky Newman just about taking John Forcade's head off as we wait for the kick. By Stucker.
Puts it through.
Sticks it. Stucker sticks it.
Woo. So Stucker builds the lead to 7, 41-34. He has been the man of the hour as far as Milwaukee's concerned tonight. Well, so far these Milwaukee fans are very worthy of that lead, 41-34. They're on top of the Cleveland Thunderbolts. The Mustangs hungry for a victory, as is Miguel Indurain in the Tour de France. The 19th stage coming up on ESPN. That's today. Today? Or actually tomorrow morning, but it's kind of like today if you're still going to stay up and watch it. 1 o'clock in the morning Eastern time, 10 o'clock Pacific time. It would be today if you're in half the country.
Right.
Or so.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
Fine.
Kind of confusing, isn't it?
Okay. It's 10 p.m. where I come from.
Yeah, so just stay up kind of late tonight. You can see it. The Tour de France says Milwaukee and Kenny Stucker have themselves a 7-point lead with 2.5 minutes to play.
No.
And that's not what you want to do. That is not a regular touchback because the ball went over a side barrier. The ball will be brought out to the 20-yard line. So Cleveland gets the ball in great field position.
You know, for a guy who's been so accurate, number 8 Stucker here, we see him going off the field. He's not happy with himself. You can be assured of that, but he's been so accurate. For him to knock it out of bounds at such a critical time, they're not ahead by that much. Cleveland scores, then scores a 2-point conversion. They're ahead by 1. Right now, Milwaukee just leading by a touchdown and an extra point. Cleveland can get back quickly.
Kaleo to Yandel, who gets wrapped up by Michael James.
There is no better feeling in the world, this kind of adrenaline. Michael James, number 17, you're going to see a hit here when we come back in slow-mo of a guy that is intense, wants to play this game, wants to make the team, wants to show an impact. You've got John Forcade on offense. Look at number 17, Michael James. Hit that head down, drive through your man. Look at him. He is excited. That heart is pumping. I'm excited just up here watching.
And 3, and you've got a reason to be. Kaleo's got to burn a timeout. They'll have 2 remaining, but Cleveland wants to step aside and regroup a little bit. This is a crucial possession for them, and so John Kaleo and Earl Bruce are going to talk about it. We'll be back in a moment. 7-point game with less than 2 to play. We're back in Milwaukee at the Bradley Center, where Milwaukee's Mustangs lead by 7. Their kicker tonight, Kenny Stucker, has had an exceptional evening. He has scored 21 points, but 6 of the field goal attempts have gone through the uprights, and that is a new Arena Football League record. The record was 5, set a couple of years ago, but Kenny Stucker with the new Arena Football League record, and most impressive was that 52-yard attempt there. But Stucker has really gotten the job done tonight, and then he turns right around Russ and knocks the kickoff over the side barrier. How quick does it turn on you, huh?
Yeah, really. You know, both coaches yesterday saying that they've had so many mistakes. They've been close to winning games, but they've had mistakes. It takes a guy like Stucker to step forward to make things happen for a team. That's what he's doing for Milwaukee.
Kaleo to Yandel, and Yandel's inside the 5.
Just the same type of thing we're talking about, John. Yandel, number 10, we saw him a couple weeks ago. He dropped a couple passes. He dropped one in this game. He hasn't been playing as well as Coach Bruce would like to see him play.
And something to think about here, too. Brian Mitchell, a 2-point drop kicker, will give Cleveland, should they score, a chance to take the lead.
Well, Yandel making the big play, and that's what it takes. It comes down here when it's close like this with a minute left, and the whistle blows because They're going to stop with a minute to go. Yandel coming up with the big play.
Rules in effect. Milwaukee has 3 timeouts remaining. Cleveland has 2 timeouts remaining.
The 1-minute timing rule, meaning that on the dead ball, an incomplete pass, a player who steps out of bounds, a penalty, the clock stops. And remember, Mitchell, a 2-point drop kicker, has already kicked 3 of those tonight. And don't you know, he'd love to get off the bench and get a chance to win the game for his team. Ellis is in for the touchdown. Jeff Ellis has pulled Cleveland within 1. Jeff Ellis, 6'4", 290 pounds, out of Ohio State. He goes in for his first touchdown of the year with less than a minute to play, and into the game with a chance to give his team the lead is Brian Mitchell. Again, he has 3 2-point kicks to his credit tonight. That is an Arena Football League record. So both kickers are putting their names in the record books tonight, as Dave Wattoon is the shaken up Milwaukee Mustang. Wattoon being helped off the field, but now Brian Mitchell is on. He stands 5'6", 170, but he would be large in the Cleveland history books as far as this game is concerned if he can put this one through the uprights. Again, this is a 2-point try. If it goes through, it's a 1-point Cleveland lead. They trail by 1. He's made 3 of them tonight. Mitchell in drop kicking, impressive numbers. He has made 14 2-point tries this year. That leads this league. He has made 3 4-point field goal attempts. Again, that is a drop kick, and so this is for the lead. And a timeout is called. So Milwaukee, just as you would try to ice a kicker perhaps in the closing moments of a game in a field goal try, wants Mitchell to sit out there and think about it. He'll have a minute to do so when we come back. Mitchell tries to give the Thunderbolts the lead. We're back in the final seconds in Milwaukee. 54 ticks of the clock still to play, and that could be a long time. Right now, Brian Mitchell, the one-man war, it looks like he's fighting, trying for the 2-point conversion to give Cleveland the lead. And it's good. So Brian Mitchell with his 4th 2-point conversion of the night, and Cleveland has retaken the lead. The 5th lead change of this half. 42-41. Cleveland is back on top. The little man with the big foot, and it's a 1-point Thunderbolt lead. Brian Mitchell has given his Cleveland team a 1-point lead, 42-41. Back deep is Alvin Ashley. Adrian Lunsford, though, on the return on the short kick. And Lunsford breaks out of the pack. Lunsford needs a block. And he's down to the 12-yard line. Oh, Russ, how fast this game can turn around. Just when it looked like Cleveland had the momentum, Adrian Lunsford comes back with a big return.
Well, being down here in the end zone, John, I got a great look at it. Lunsford taking it, looked like he was stopped in the middle here, breaks to the outside, going down the line. It took Ellis, number 88, a great effort to come across field and knock him up against the wall. Great position for Milwaukee late in the game.
And now on the sideline, perhaps Kenny Stucker has something to think about. He has made 6 field goal attempts tonight. Will he have a chance at number 7? Forcade. Into the end zone. Incomplete. Taron Adams was back there trying to catch the deflection. Stucker actually in the runway now behind the bench on the Milwaukee sideline, back there attempting his practice kicks.
Well, I'll tell you what, too, John. A lot of pressure on that Cleveland line. Ricky Newman, number 98, and our guy, Kent Wells. They've been playing both ways all game long. Kent Wells, number 73, putting a lot of heat on Forcade. They're not going to give him a lot of time to throw the ball. It's going to have to be an accurate pass.
To Wabarosha. Inside the 5. And Wabarosha, the right Iron Man of this game. And Earl Bruce could only sit and watch and hope that his defense can make a play.
A great changeup in the run, the draw. You can see the line of Cleveland getting ready for a pass rush. Forcade letting the clock run down before he calls timeout. But you could see that line of Cleveland wanting to get on that pass rush, convinced that Forcade was going to throw. Great call on the draw.
John Forcade will talk about it with the offensive staff. Jerry Bruner trying to line it all up. They trail by 1. They have a chance when we come back.
The ball right in the middle of the field. We kick the extra point, we kick the field goal, we win. Look, the ball's down, we're just going straight ahead. All right? On one, ready? Just let it right formation.
So John Forcade says, hey, here's what we're doing, guys. I'm going to keep the ball. We're going to line it up in the middle of the field, and then Stucker's going to come on and win the game. So that's what he does. Forcade falls down right in the middle of the field, and the clock will wind down. They have 1 timeout remaining. And they'll take it with a little less than 7 seconds. So Russ kind of flirting a little bit there, panicking this crowd somewhat.
It doesn't get a lot more exciting than this, John. Forcade letting the clock run down to 6.8 seconds. The fans not convinced that the timeout was going to be called. You see Stucker, who's been kicking so well, number 8, is going to get ready to kick this ball. Talk about pressure. He's a young guy that's all on his shoulders right now. They could go home a winner or go home a loser just on this one kick alone.
Kenny Stucker, by the way, the Wilson most valuable player of tonight's game. He knows what pressure's all about. This man, the all-time leading scorer in Ball State history. He's the 2nd leading scorer in the MAC history.
You know, John,
Mid-American Conference.
You know, don't mean to interrupt you, John. It's tough because I'm down here on the field, can't be right next to you. But you got to give a hand before this is all said and done to both coaches on both sides and both teams. You know, they don't have anything to play for in this game but pride, and both teams have played with a great deal of pride, an extra showing of pride.
Remember this, Cleveland is 1-8, Milwaukee 0-9 in their first year ever. Stucker for a 2-point lead. And it's off the upright. Kenny Stucker is off target, and the Mustangs have been tamed. 42-41. Cleveland and Earl Bruce get their 2nd win of the season. And I'll tell you what is really unfortunate is that some of the taunting that's going on, Russ, by the Cleveland players of Kenny Stucker. I saw several go up and get in his face, and you hate to certainly play on somebody's misfortune, but Cleveland has walked out of here escaping by the narrowest of margins.
There's one Cleveland guy walking up to Stucker saying, nice guy, patting him on the butt, number 95. I can't see his name from here.
That was Tony Catchings who came over, and that was certainly a welcome sign of sportsmanship. But the upright to the right says, nope, not tonight. And Kenny Stucker, who was good on 6 field goal tries tonight, could not make it. Number 7 down on the field with Russ Francis is Brian Mitchell, who himself tonight has set an arena football record with 3 2-point extra point attempts that went through.
Well, John, an awful lot of this game has come down to the kickers. Brian Mitchell here with us on the victorious side of this. Both kickers are doing a great job. Brian, tell us a little bit about the pressure involved in kicking in a game like this.
Well, there's a lot of pressure, as you can see. Kickers in this league, you have to, hit it right down the middle. And, the pressure, you just have to deal with it best way you can.
Can you feel a little bit of what Stucker's going through after having such a fine game, hitting a couple records, knocking one in from 52 yards out, missing the last kick?
Well, I was just about to be the GOAT myself, so on that kickoff, but I feel for Kenny. He's a great kicker, and I feel for him right now. I wish I could go over and say something to him right now.
All right, congratulations, Brian. Great game. John, what a wonderful game.
It certainly was, Russell. Thank you, sir. 42-41 Cleveland getting the win tomorrow night on ESPN. Orlando and Miami. That's at 8 o'clock Eastern time.